Hey guys, this is Caitlin and Mackenzie, and we are admissions representatives at OTC, coming at you live to help answer some questions you might have about the admissions process and how to get started at OTC. Tonight, we will be addressing common questions that first-time college students might have and providing more information about OTC to prospective students. As we are live streaming, we would love to hear from you along the way. If you have any questions, comment them below, and we will make sure to get to all of them, whether it's during the live stream or shortly after. We are going to start out briefly talking about what life is like as an OTC Eagle and our experiences since we are both former OTC students. So I'm going to get started with this. So I studied my Associate of Arts in Teaching transfer degree at OTC. And this degree helped me get all of my general education classes done and some of my basic teacher education courses. I then transferred to Drury to finish up my bachelor's degree in elementary ed. And one thing I loved about OTC in my time as a student, and one of the many things I still love about OTC, even as an employee, are the wonderful resources and the amazing faculty and staff that truly go above and beyond each and every day for students. Between the tutoring center, speech and writing center, the library, student services, and several others, I felt very at home from day one at OTC and still do to this day. So now I'm going to hand it over to Mackenzie to share a little bit about her experience.
Yeah, OTC was honestly a real game changer for me. I got my Associate of Arts in just general education here at OTC, and then I transferred to SCU to finish up my bachelor's in psychology. And while at OTC, I made some really awesome friends, Caitlin being one of them. And honestly, getting plugged in as a student ambassador was one of the best decisions I ever made. I could honestly talk about OTC and how much the school means to me. I could talk about it forever. But instead, I will just leave you with this, is that you honestly never know where life is going to take you. And sometimes the things that you least expect has a way of changing your life for the better. So now that we have successfully gone down memory lane, let's talk about COVID-19. So in the summer, we are only going to be offering online classes. However, in the fall, we plan on offering our seated classes like normal. So OTC has done a really cool thing where in the summer, since everyone's going to be online, we have gotten rid of the $65 online course fee. So that's an extra expense that you guys don't even have to worry about. And then classes are going to be starting as scheduled, which is awesome. So in this summer, they will be starting June 8th, and then in the fall, it'll be starting August 24th. So as you guys are going through this whole process and getting ready to register, you probably have a lot of questions. Well, that's why we're here. We're going to try and answer some of those questions. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the admissions process, but it's just going to be super quick, and a little bit later in this video, we'll be going a little bit more in depth, okay? So the first step is going to be the application, and it is free for all of our students, and it's a two-step process. So the first step is going to be the instant account creation, and then the second step is going to be the actual application itself. Now this step is not complete until you do step 2. And you can find the application at apply.otc.edu. Now the second step is going to be the Fafsa, which stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And what this is, it's basically, the Fafsa is your ticket for all things financial aid. So if you want Pell Grants, scholarships, loans, anything like that, you have to have a Fafsa on file. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. So the next step, step 3, is going to be a guided self-placement. So I have some good news for you guys. We don't require the ACT or SAT at all. So instead, we have created the guided self-placement. And what this is basically, it helps you and your advisor determine if you are ready for collegiate level English and math. So how to get to this, you would go to My OTC. In the top left-hand corner, you would just click on that, and then you would go to Getting Started, and it looks like an open door with an arrow in it. That's kind of the icon. And then you would go to Guided Self-Placement, and you just follow that, and it's just going to be a quick few series of questions. no biggie. Once you do that, the next step is going to be STAR orientation. And this is really important. It's now called distance advising, and it is all done online. So STAR used to be in person, but with COVID-19, we've had to move it online. And Caitlin's going to go more in depth a little bit later with that. So the last step that I want to talk about is transcripts. So we will need both high school and any dual credit or college credit that you would have. So if you are currently in high school, you will need to wait until after you graduate before you can send your official transcripts to us. So what does it mean for it to be official? Well, basically it has to come directly from your school, and they can send it to us. They can email it to us at admissions@otc.edu, or they can mail it to the school that you are wanting to go to. And that's it. So after you complete all of these steps, you can register for classes once registration opens on April 21st at midnight. So to do that, you would go into your MyOTC, go to the student planning tab, and once you select your classes and register, then you'll be prompted to do a payment plan. Guys, this is super important, okay? The payment plan has to be done the same day that you register for classes. If you don't, unfortunately, you will be dropped from those classes at midnight. So just make sure you go ahead and do that the same day that you register. You have until the day after classes start to register. That is the final deadline, but don't wait until then. Go ahead and take care of things as soon as possible. That way you get the classes that you want at the times that you want.
Okay, awesome. It looks like we have a few comments coming in. So I'm going to go more in depth on how to do distance advising online, which again, distance advising is in place of the STAR orientation session, just so you know. And STAR is required for all first-time college students before you will be able to register for classes. So if you have attended OTC in the past, or if you have attended another college and you're wanting to transfer to OTC, you will not have to complete STAR. It's just a one-time thing that you have to do. So I think that addresses some of the questions that we have coming in. And then another big one is that we understand with all that's going on with COVID-19 right now, that their high schools are closed and things like that, graduations are being postponed. So I see some questions about, can a high school student register for classes if we don't have their high school transcript yet? And the answer to that is yes. They can absolutely register for classes, set up the payment plan, and just send us that transcript once they officially graduate. And that's when we will put together their financial aid award package for them. Okay. So now we are going to walk you through how to sign up for distance advising. So you can self-enroll yourself in distance advising through your MyOTC student portal. Whenever you log in, there is a gray toolbar on the left-hand side. It's like the fourth one down, I believe, and it's the Getting Started tab. And it looks like a doorway with an arrow pointing to it. So if you click on STAR registration, that is where you will notice at the top there's a blue bar. And if you click on that link, you might have to copy and paste that link into a new web browser. Then you'll type in your email and your name, and then the course will begin. It's kind of like an online course that you go through. There's about 7 different steps, and once you complete it, then you'll be ready to register for classes. And if you have any trouble with distance advising or anything like that, then you can email distanceadvising@otc.edu, and so we will post that email address in the comments below.
Sorry, Caitlin, I was looking at the different comments. Are we to me?
No, you're fine.
Okay. But yes, I do want to add to that is that if you guys, after you do the distance advising, if you still have questions, you are always more than welcome to still meet with an academic advisor. To do that, you would go to our student support services page, and that is going to be an awesome resource for you guys just in general if you have any questions. So on there, you can schedule virtual appointments. You can live chat with available staff members. There's the number to call us. And then if you just want to answer any questions about other resources that you have, you can do that there. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and transition to talking about financial aid, okay? So there are 4 types of financial aid. There's grants, scholarships, work study, and loans, okay? So for grants, that is going to be money that comes directly from the Fafsa, and it's going to be based off of your financial eligibility. And this is money that does not have to be repaid. For scholarships, this is going to be free money as well that does not have to be repaid, and it's there is an additional application process for that. So Caitlin's going to talk more about scholarships a little bit later. But the cool thing about scholarships is that if you, or it's money that can be refunded to you if you don't use the entire balance to pay for your school expenses. So that's awesome. But we also have work study, which is a part-time job on campus. You can work around 10 to 15 hours, and it's really great with working with your school schedule. And then last but not least, we have student loans. So this is money that you do have to repay with interest. So we always recommend for students to double check and try and exhaust all other possible resources before trying to take out loans. But if you decide that that is a route that you want to go, we definitely would recommend talking to financial aid advisors, and they'd be more than happy to assist you in that process.
Okay, awesome. So Mackenzie briefly mentioned scholarships, and I just want to dive into scholarships a little more. Now is a great time to apply for scholarships. And there are 2 different types of OTC scholarships. We have institutional and foundation scholarships. And you can view a full list of both types of scholarships on our scholarships page. And we are going to link this in the comments below. Institutional scholarships are the OTC funded scholarships, whereas foundation scholarships are from private donors. We have a very lengthy list of foundation scholarships, and all you have to do is 1 application to put you in a pool for all of those foundation scholarships. You do not have to apply for them one by one, which is amazing, and it definitely saves you a lot of time. We have a committee that will sit down and review your application and your essay and award you with any scholarships that you are eligible for. If you want to apply for institutional scholarships also, you will need to do a separate application, but you can use the same essay. For summer, you have until May 1st to apply for scholarships, and for fall, you have until June 1st to apply. And those deadlines are also posted on the scholarships page that we're going to drop in the comments. So if you forget those, you can check them out there. You can also search for outside scholarships that aren't specific to OTC, because the more scholarship money you get, the better. And as Mackenzie mentioned, any unused scholarship money, a lot of times it can be refunded to you. And so that is really great. So the more you get, the better. So now we're going to talk about financial aid. And let's be honest, financial aid isn't the most fun thing to talk about, but it is super important. So hang in there with me and we will get through this together. As Mackenzie mentioned earlier, FAFSA is the basis of all types of financial aid. You must complete the FAFSA in order to be eligible for any type of financial aid. So now I'm going to kind of go over which FAFSA you need to complete. So if you're planning to attend summer classes, you need to complete the 2019-2020 FAFSA. And for fall, you need to do the 2020-2021 FAFSA. And make sure to list OTC as a school on the FAFSA to ensure that we receive it. And this step is super important. If you have already done a FAFSA, maybe for another school or something like that, you need to go back in and add OTC to it if you haven't already. And you will use 2 years prior tax information. So for the 2019-2020 FAFSA, you will use 2017 tax information. And for the 2020-2021 FAFSA, you will use 2018 tax information. And then What happens after we receive your FAFSA? Financial aid will put together an award package that is available for viewing in the financial aid tab of your MyOTC student portal. It is really important that you get in the habit of checking your financial aid tab. This is super important because if we're missing any documents from you or anything, that is where we notify you. So make sure that you're checking that tab. I would get in the habit of checking it weekly if possible. That's where it'll show up if we're missing your high school transcript. I know we've got a few questions about high school transcripts. So we do have to have that before we can put together your award package. However, that does not hold up class registration or anything for you. So once your award package is available, you must go in and accept or decline each individual award presented on your package. So you might notice a few different things, and so you can go in and individually go through those and pick which ones you want to take. If you have any questions about what is presented on your package, you can contact our financial aid office by setting up an appointment with them through the Student Support Services page that we have linked below in the comments. Okay, so now we're going to talk about A+. So if you are an A+ student, this information is super important, so listen closely. For A+ recipients, we just need the appropriate FAFSA on file for you and your official high school transcript once you graduate. And that official high school transcript will have the A+ seal on it, and your high school will be aware of what that is. So they'll make sure it gets on there if you're an A+ recipient. And then that's it. We just need the FAFSA and the high school transcript with that A+ seal on it. And then our financial aid office will do the rest, and they will put together your award package that shows A+ on there. So while attending OTC, in order to keep your A+, you must maintain a 2.5 GPA, and you must maintain full-time student status, which a full-time student is 12 credit hours or more in the fall and spring semesters and 6 credit hours or more in the summer. So most of our classes are about 3 credit hours. So you're looking at about 4 classes in the fall and spring to be considered full-time. And then, in case you weren't aware, A+ does cover tuition and common fees. It does not cover books and supplies or course-specific fees. We do have a special scholarship to help you with those additional costs, and this is called the A+ Advantage Scholarship. This scholarship is only for A+ students, and it pays up to $500 to help cover your textbooks and fees that A+ doesn't pay. And we will post a link in the comments below so you can read more about this scholarship and how to apply. Okay, I'm kind of checking in to see what kind of comments we are getting. If we have any questions.
And Caitlin, I'm not able to see the comments, so if you could, if there are some, if you could feed some to me, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we are addressing a lot of comments as we go. So we might kind of keep going down the line and then kind of check back in towards the end and see if there's anything we need to cover.
Sounds good.
Okay, so now I'm going to hand it back over to Mackenzie so she can talk about the 3 different pathways and the types of programs that we offer at OTC.
Yep. So OTC is such a great option for you to start your college journey, and whatever your goals are, whether it is to pursue a 4-year degree and potentially even further, or if you want to get credit to get a certificate to go straight into the workforce. Whatever your goals are, we honestly have something for everyone. So we're going to kind of break that down. We'll talk about the different programs we have. I'll give you guys a few examples, but I can tell you right now, it's nowhere close to showing everything that we have to offer. So we have allied health, technical, and transfer degrees. So for allied health, just some examples are nursing, dental assisting, dental hygiene, surgical technology, hearing instrument science, and respiratory therapy, which I feel like is pretty fitting considering everything that's going on in the world, and a bunch of others. So one thing that I do want to make mention about our allied health department is fall OTC in general has an open enrollment policy, meaning if you apply, you are admitted. Our Allied Health Department does not work that way. So it has its own admission process into the individual program. So if you guys are interested in the different programs or have any additional questions, I highly recommend double checking our website, looking at your program specifically to see what different things are required for the admissions process and just learning more information. For our technical program, this definitely has the majority of things that we offer, or like the greatest list of the different programs. But we have welding, automotive, agriculture, we have a lineman program, electronic media production, aviation, culinary arts, etc. So there's a lot of variety in our technical programs. And then last but not least, we have our transfer degrees. So we have the general education, we have pre-pharmacy, English, teaching, if I didn't say teaching already, we have bioclinical science, and then criminal justice, just to name a few. But let me break it down even further. So we have associate's degrees and certificates. So an associate's degree is going to be offered with all three of the different programs, whereas a certificate is going to only be with our allied health and technical programs. So what do those mean exactly? So an associate's degree is a 2-year degree that is designed to help you further your education. It gives you kind of that baseline. So for example, both Caitlin and I have an associate's degree with OTC, and we were able to transfer to other institutions to earn our bachelor's. So the 2 years at OTC will take care of the credits that you need for your freshman and sophomore year. Now, a certificate is a 1-year program that is designed to propel students into the workforce upon graduation. And in a certificate, students will pretty much only be focusing on classes within that specific field. You're not really going to have the same general education classes that you would elsewhere, unless it is required for that field. So as you guys can see, whether you are wanting to get that 4-year degree or you want to be a lineman, whatever it is that you want, we have something for everyone, which is awesome. So yeah, Caitlin, I still wasn't able to find the comments. Are there any that we need to address before we close?
Yes, I'm going to kind of go over a few of these and kind of get us caught up here.
Okay, awesome.
So at the very beginning, we talked a little bit about COVID-19. So this summer, we are only offering online classes because of COVID-19. And Mackenzie mentioned, but the $65 online course fee per class has been dropped. So you will not have to pay any extra for the online classes this summer. And as of right now, fall classes are proceeding as planned, where we plan to offer seated classes again in the fall. And I think Mackenzie also mentioned as well, the start times of classes have not changed. So classes will still start and stop on time, just as regularly planned, regularly scheduled. Okay. All right. Also, I see we have some questions about how do I know what classes I need to register for? So after you complete distance advising online, in the comments below, check for the student support services page that we're going to drop in the comments. You can also access that on our website, otc.edu. And at the top, we have a banner and it says Get Help. If you click on that, you can schedule an appointment with an academic advisor, and they'll be able to provide you some one-on-one guidance to walk you through what classes you need to kind of help you plan and get ready to register. And again, registration does open on April 21st at midnight. Registration is pretty competitive. It doesn't close until the day after classes start, but don't wait until the last minute. Make sure you register early to get the classes that you want at the times that you need. So that is definitely super important. Is if you haven't yet, make sure you do distance advising, meet with the advisor if you need that additional one-on-one help. That way you are ready to register for classes. Let's see if we have anything else here. Okay. So Mackenzie, if you want to go ahead and continue, and then at the very end, right before we sign off, I'll see if we have any additional ones coming in.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for getting those. I kind of feel bad, but
no problem.
Okay, thank you. So guys, seriously, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging with us. Caitlin and I absolutely love talking to students and helping you guys. Even though we are wrapping up, still leave those comments. If we don't get them today or like right after this, we're going to get to it as soon as we can. So don't forget to mark your calendars for April 21st at midnight and apply early because registration can be competitive. So we know that starting college can be kind of intimidating and overwhelming unless the real COVID-19 is not doing anything to help with that stress. But just know that we are in this together. We want to help you guys. We want to watch you guys succeed. So please do not hesitate to let us know, reach out to us, and we're going to do everything that we can to help you guys. So thank you so much for watching. We have had a blast. We wish you the best of luck here at OTC. And yeah, are there any other comments that we need to get before we wrap up?
Yes. So the biggest thing that I'm seeing is, how do I sign up for a STAR session? So again, we just want to reiterate that STAR is distance advising right now, and it is being done online. So in your MyOTC student portal, you can self-enroll yourself for distance advising. And it's basically like an online class that you go through. It'll have several different really beneficial steps to help get you prepared for the semester. And once you complete that, you just work through that kind of at your own pace. Once you complete that, then you'll be released to register whenever it opens on April 21st at midnight. So we just kind of wanted to reiterate that. If your school maybe came on a visit to OTC and you think you might have already done STAR in person before all of this started happening, then maybe just reach out to us. We might get your student ID number and we can check your account and see if you still have a STAR hold on your account. So that is always something that you can do if you have a very specific situation or question going on about your account. You can always reach out to us. A great email to get a hold of us is explore@otc.edu. So you can email that email address, give us your student ID number, kind of explain briefly like what's going on, and we can look into your account and give you some answers that way. So I think that's everything for now. So like I said, Mackenzie mentioned this, please continue to leave your comments below and we will answer them as quickly as we can. And we just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, and we hope you have a great rest of your evening. Bye.